Good morning. This can only mean one thing. Jackson. Jackson came to Monday Mobility. Now, we've got the emergency set up in case he does not do well. But I've got the dinosaur and I've got cookies. You never know. Hey, sorry about last week. Last week I had to go a little bit early. We had a little bit of trouble with the upload, but glad to be back with you live today for some mobility. I spent a lot of time on the bicycle yesterday, so I definitely can relate to tight hips. And so anything that you did this weekend, whether it was sitting at your desk, sitting in the car, out on a long bike ride, maybe for a long trail run. I've got some athletes that competed in the Level 100. And I've got some athletes over in Europe getting ready for some big races this week as well. So hopefully we're going to make this session just really applicable to many of you and hopefully set you up really, really well. As you can tell, Jackson has gotten very big. He's a big boy. Okay, Jackson, lay down. Lay down. Lay down all the way. Okay, let's go lateral half kneeling to start. So right here, you're down on your right knee, left leg is out to the side, left foot nice and straight. Because not only do we want to work our hip hinge and our hip mobility, we also want to work ankle mobility. So if you can get that pinky side, that fifth ray over here, down onto the ground, that's a good move. So any of you that are sitting there like this position with the fifth metatarsal, the pinky toe off the ground, go ahead and just expand it down on the side. Okay, from right there, Jackson, lay down. This is going to be an interesting session. All the way. Good boy. Stay. So we're going to go right here, half kneeling. Push your hands to the front, hips to the back. You should get a nice little adductor stretch. 2, we're just going to go 5, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Same thing other side. Paying attention to the position of the foot on the right side, lateral half kneeling, push your hips back, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to go right into hip rotation. So from right here, let's go into not an exceedingly wide stance, but just outside of shoulder width. And we're just going to wiggle the hips side to side. So you push your right hip towards the midline of the body and then push your left hip. And just nice and easy. And if we do it right, you're going to end up just toggling your SI joint in the back. So go ahead and put your hands on your hips so you can just feel them. And as you move right, we don't have a big hip hinge here. We're just straight up and down. Just nice and easy, bring those hips across. And it's a loaded position because you're standing, so we're dealing with gravity. As I go this way, I feel a little bit more tightness here in the adductor, but as I go this way, this right side is nice and loose. So just nice and easy, recognizing that tightness on the right side is what stops me from over-rotating, as well as lateral hip on the left. So these two muscles are communicating. Jackson, come here. Lay down. All the way. Good boy. All right, so just nice and easy, standing tall, hips just toggling side to side. So last week we did a little bit of SI joint gliding from the quadruped position. Shake that out. And now we're going to go into a split stance position. Float the heel on the left side. And again, we're just going to stand tall and just rotate right hip into the midline. Standing nice and tall, just gentle. Take what your body will give you, and just gently rotate. There's no side bend here. Stay really tall with your spine. Just nice, easy rotation, and good. Same thing other side. Right leg in front of left. Left heel floats just a little bit. I have no idea where he's going, but he shouldn't leave. Left hip across, and again, I get a little bit more movement into the right side. Nice and easy. Good, and if you get, like, that's really good hip rotation. You don't need much more than that. You want to be quick out of those hips as well. So if some is good, more isn't always better. Good, couple more, and good. Shake that out. We're going back to the half kneeling position, lateral position. We're going 5. We've already been here once. First thing I want you to really focus on, you can use your measuring sticks, thumbs on your bottom rib, pinkies on your hip bones. Take a big breath, but then drop your shoulders. So from right there, inhale for 4, big inhale through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. Forcefully inhale. Fill the lungs to the bottom of the ribs. Try to spread the rib cage. Big inhale. As you exhale, you're using your measuring sticks to make sure that your ribs don't get much closer to your hips. Okay? Big inhale and exhale. Good. From right there, Jackson. Good boy. Can you sit? Can you lay down? Good boy. Okay, so from right here, we're just paying a little bit more attention of the ribs and the hips, holding them off as we go into our 5 hip hinges. 1, 2, push your hips back. Your butt should be way back by your heel. 3, 4, and 5. Same thing other side. Ankle out to the side. 5th metatarsal on the ground. Nice big breath. Push your hips back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Push your hips back, way, way back. And 5. Okay, good. Let's take that right into the same half kneeling position that we're going to go into 90-90. But you can't see my foot on the ground or my knee. It is at 90 degrees. Lead leg. Pull it back so that that angle is 90 degrees. Pull the ribs off the hips and just push the hips back here, nice and easy. And then come right back. Push the hips back. We want this foot stuck to the ground. Lead foot, all 5 toes on the ground. 3, 4, and 1 more, and 5. I would have predicted or guessed that that hamstring on the lead leg for me might have been a little bit tighter. But as I start to open up the adductors, the inner thigh muscles, sometimes we blame hamstrings when it's really adductors. So that was kind of surprising in a good way. All right, from right here, pull the ribs off the hips, drop the shoulders away from the ears. From right here, we're just going to push back. 1, 2, 3, 4, good. And we're just getting a little bit of light tugging here in the low back. And 5. All right, good. We're going into double arm relaxed position. And we're just going to go full kneeling position. So now 2 knees on the floor. We're going to put the hands behind the head. For me, as soon as I do that, I feel a little bit of tension through the upper abdomen, right at the bottom of the ribs. Keeping in mind that the psoas muscle attaches directly behind that. So there's some fascia and muscle on the outside of that psoas muscle that is a little bit tight. And any tightness through that core can inhibit good function. So right here, we've got the elbows behind the head, and we're just going to touch them in front of the head, and then open that chest up. 2, open the chest up, squeeze the shoulder blades. 3, 4, good, and 5. Hold that nice and strong. We're going to side bend left. Come back up. There's no hip hinge here. We're nice and tall, flat through the hips. Side bend right. 2, 5 each side. 3, if you can see your elbows, they're too far forward. 4, gentle side bend. 5, we're going to count to 10 on this. 6, 7, 8, 9, good, and 10. Awesome. Jackson, what you chewing on? Hey, oh, cookie. There you go, good boy. All right, back to 90-90. We're gonna work some thoracic spine rotation. We've already been in this position, we've pushed the hips back. Now we're gonna add that little bit of rotation. And notice from this angle, when I do my left knee up, right arm is gonna reach, you're gonna see my back. That's how much I'm gonna rotate through my thoracic spine, okay? So focus on pushing your hips back first, then add that rotation and come right back. Push the hips back, add the rotation. 2. Now we're starting to get hip rotators in the left. 3, 4, we're staying with 5s today. And 5. Good, and I could definitely feel some nice opening up of that lead hip. Hopefully you're feeling the same thing. Okay, right leg in front. This is gonna be a left arm reach. First move, push the hips back, show me your back. Woo. 1, 2, 3, good. 4, 1 more. And 5. All right, good. Let's bring that up to a standing position. Try to get to where you can see my feet a little bit. And from here, we want to internally rotate the hips just a little bit. And you can see that from the outsides of your feet. So you're going to square up the outsides of your feet. Just make them parallel. So don't overdo it. That's way too much right there, right? So just, if you're standing on a mat, square up the outsides of your feet with the mat. That gives you just a little bit of internal rotation there, okay? So let's keep that. Inside or at shoulder width, square up the outsides of your feet, hands behind your head, and we're just gonna shift the hip to the left, right elbow dips. We're just gonna do that same thing. So we're shifting into that lateral line on the left side, and we're also getting all that length through the lateral line, through the lat. 2, 3. So in essence, we're getting a little bit of spinal side flexion, but more than anything, we're getting that hip loading laterally. And that's just gonna feed that TFL and that glute max just a little bit, and the glute med that we need you to wake up and get to work today just a little bit, so that tomorrow is kind of the bigger day. All right, same thing. Hip to the right. And you can feel how that weight shift plays through your feet. That's why I always like working out in bare feet, especially for mobility sessions, because you can really feel that as I shift my hip, the weight shifts in my feet. My feet really have to activate and liven up in order to accept that shift in position, that change in position. Wow. Big lateral. 2 more of these. 1 and 1 more. And good. All right. From right here, let's go right back to where we were earlier. Square up the outsides of your feet. Let your stance go a little bit wider. Stay tall. We're just going to hip rotate. 1 more time. Just nice and easy. You should feel that hip dropping. So as it goes towards the midline, we're starting to get that decoupling of the hips. And my right hip definitely moves better than my left. I can feel my right hip drop, my left hip not so much. Might be time to go visit my chiropractor, Dr. Khan. Good. Just to get a little tune-up. I'm not a big go to the doctor a lot. I'm lucky I don't have to. But when I do, and I need a little support, and I can feel it, I can kind of tell you, I can catch things before they happen. Right there, just nice and easy. You should feel the toggle, 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 toggle. All right, let's go into a wide stance. All right, so we're starting to get a little bit of heat in the body. We're going to go 10 fingertips pull the palms away from the ground, and we're just going to the ground, back up. Hopefully you can get there just from a hip hinge, so we're keeping the space between the ribs and the hips. Push the hips back, 10 fingertips to the ground. That's kind of how you know how wide you should be. The wider you are, the closer you are to the ground, so it's easier to get there. All right, so reach the hands, 10 fingertips to the ground. Legs are quite straight. You're getting high hamstring, and you're also getting posterior fibers, the back fibers of the adductor. So adductor magnus has anterior and posterior fibers. They both need to be moved in order to be healthy, strong, and functional, right? Side, keep pushing your hips back. Now, if you can't get there comfortably, use a prop so that right here, you don't have to go as low, but you're getting the same tension through the back side of the body. Good? Jackson. Good boy. Okay, let's go a little bit of lateral. We're working that same hip rotation. So we're going to go right hand, touch to the ground, across the body there, turn the hip, a little bit of bend in the knee, come across, turn the hip, nice little reach. This is kind of a measuring stick for your life. So right here, when we glide to the right and reach with the left, I can get all 5 fingertips to the ground. And we never want to lose that mobility. We never want to lose the strength, the ability to get into these positions. Speed it up just a little bit. And good. All right, onto the ground. Here's where it gets dangerous with Jackson. See what we can do. Okay, first move is going to be just to see hip flexor function, hamstring length. So you're just going to lay on your back, stay there, and we're just raising the right leg as high as you can. You should be able to have long arms and just grab it. So we're getting there with the hip flexor, lift, 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 lift. On the back side, the hamstring has to accept it, and we just hopefully have you at about 90 degrees with that leg straight up from the ground. That's a pretty nice hamstring length relative to the strength of the hip flexor. And the body's amazing how it does have these natural measuring sticks. That if you're in the right position, the knee is quite straight, and the arms are also quite straight. All right, everybody join me here. We've got a little bit of nerve flossing as part of our mobility. We're going to point and flex the foot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then just come on back out of that. We're going to the same thing. So just gently bring that leg up. You can support it behind because we want a little bit less tension so we can get through that nerve flossing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And good. All right, right knee is coming up. Arms out to the side. Right knee up. Gently rotate it across. Don't go too far with that, okay? Because the hip flexor firing inhibits a little bit of the glute function. So don't feel like you have to really push through that. We just want to bring that right knee up. Gently bring it across. Could I touch the ground? I can. But I tell you, I feel nice tension through the hip. Come right back. Hi, baby. Can you sit? Jackson, sit. Sit. Jackson. Good boy. Lay down. All the way. Good boy. Left leg up. Gently pull it across. Come back. Right knee up. Gently pull it across. Hey. And good. All right, right into a nice, easy, open book. You're gonna lay on your side, knees up just a little bit. Keep the head. You can either put your head on a pillow or a yoga block, or you can just kind of let it hang. It's not that big a deal. And we just want to open up to the top side of the body. Keep the knees together. Jackson, good boy. Those of you that have been with me for a while and watched him grow up, just know that he's not attacking me right now. Oh, he's going to do the movement. Open book, Jax. Open book. Okay. Oh, there we go. Good boy. You do the open books. Good boy. You should feel just maybe a little bit of a tug with the lower back there, but nothing dramatic, right? We've got that nice separation of the upper and lower body. Jackson, sit. Sit. Come on. Hey. He's like, you're down there. Why should I sit? Okay, so here we go. Knees together and just open book. Mobility Monday is always about getting you ready for a good week of training, right? So it's about movement. It's about things being gentle. I'm going to buzz off to work now. Sit. Jackson's really tired, so we took him to a friend's house last night, and he actually played and played and played, I think, for 3 straight hours with a 1-year-old black lab. So you're getting him, I knew we would be set up for success. He's exhausted. But anyway, Mobility Monday here for, I think it's the 14th of August. Thanks for coming. Just keep moving well. If you have any comments, I'm going to do better and better with the comments. Almost caught up, ready to launch my new short form video format. Hopefully you're on my mailing list. You'll get a lot of information there. Lots of big stuff happening in the next week or so. Aloha. Lots of love to the people of Maui. And yeah, just take care of each other. Be good. See you soon.